We've heard I am from poems, and they all helped us to move into a we are from space. So that's where we find ourselves now, and we'll root ourselves in this space in a we are from poem that we find in the Bible. The people of God were in a time of transition. What? People of God have been in times of transition before. And as they were getting ready for this next step, they were moving from wilderness wanderings, being a nomadic people, to being settled in a new place, getting ready to cross over the Jordan, this very symbolic transition. Their leader knew that they needed to be grounded. And so they were given this story to say as they brought their first fruits offerings. So in this act of worship, remember who you are. We will read this scripture together. I will read the instructional words, and we'll read together the words that the people are supposed to say. So let's get that on the screen. It's on that one, but not on that one. Can you get us there, Ryan? There we go. Thank you. All right. Then you should solemnly state before the Lord your God, my father was a starving Aramean. He went down to Egypt, living as an immigrant there with few family members. But that is where he became a great nation, mighty and numerous. The Egyptians treated us terribly, oppressing us and forcing hard labor on us. So we cried out for help to the Lord, our ancestors' God. The Lord heard our call. God saw our misery, our trouble, and our oppression. The Lord brought us out of Egypt with a strong arm and an outstretched arm, with awesome power and with signs and wonders. He brought us to this place and gave us this land, a land full of milk and honey. So now I am bringing the early produce of the fertile ground that you, Lord, have given me. Set the produce down before the Lord your God, bowing down before the Lord your God. Then celebrate all the good things the Lord your God has done for you and your family, each one of you, along with the Levites and immigrants who are among you. The word of the Lord. So we begin with that first phrase that we just read as a starving Aramean was my father. But I learned it in the NRSV, which is a wandering Aramean was my ancestor. Now, for like 20 years, I have thought that meant that my ancestor was nomadic. Turns out, the Hebrew word is oved, which means something more like lost or desperate. And given the context of famine, then it gets translated in the version we just read as starving. However you translate it, precisely that word, it is a form of hardship. So we come from hardship. And what's so interesting is that this is what people are to say as they offer their food offering. So as you bring your gift of abundance, remember, you come from a starving ancestor. Isn't that interesting? So this story, shared by the people of God, we adopted into the people of God, claim this is our story. And now we say, we come from hardship. So this ancestor encountering hardship because of life's circumstances, had to migrate. It's tale as old as time, right? We even heard some of those stories in these poems that were shared today. And so as you bring your abundant basket from the land that you are settled on, remember, you were once an immigrant. We are from migration. And that migration led to enough food, but it also eventually led to persecution, to slavery. These ancestors, coming from hardship, migrated into a land that at that time had plenty, but they were the other. And that eventually led to being a persecuted people. We are from persecution. And the ancestors cried out to God. And what did God do? Well, God gets so many verbs in this passage. God heard, God saw. God brought us out of persecution. God stretched out God's arm. God showed awesome power, signs, and wonders. And God brought us relief. God brought us to a new place full of plenty. God saved. We are from God's salvation. And because of that story, the story of hardship, migration, persecution, salvation, then what are we to do? The passage is about bringing our offerings, which is worship. Worship and bringing offerings are not things that can be separated in the Bible. So because of where we come from, because of who God is, we worship. We are from worship. But what I love is that that's not the end of this story. After reciting that story of migration, hardship, persecution, salvation, after the act of worship, then there's a final instruction. Did you catch what that was? I read it at the end. Then celebrate. And what do you celebrate with? The offering. So the offering isn't just a symbolic offering. It's an element of the party. And the people invited to join that party, not only are the people who brought those offerings, but are the people who don't have land to bring those first fruits offerings from. The Levites, people from the tribe of Levite, who are priests and therefore don't have land, and the immigrants who do not yet have land. People who are at a different part of that cyclical story. Everyone at any part of that cyclical story is invited to the party. And part of the purpose of that first fruit offering is to share it with everyone, no matter where they are in the story. That's generosity. We come from generosity. We come from celebration. We are from hardship and migration, from persecution and crying out. We are from God hearing, from God seeing and bringing out and stretching and showing, from God bringing to a new place. We are from God's salvation. We are from worship, from welcoming and generosity. We are from celebration. We have heard from individuals stories of I am from. We've done a brief interpretation of the we are from in the people of God. And now we find ourselves in our own crossing over Jordan moment. And so we get to write our own collective we are from. In the spirit of that poem that we've read, in the spirit of a starving Aramean was my ancestor, I invite you to think about what collective words and phrases are part of our story. And as you think of a word or phrase, I'm going to invite you to come and write it down. We'll do that as part of our offering time, but you can also continue to do that after the worship service is over. And from whatever gets put on this piece of paper, we'll write our own collective We Are From congregational poem for this moment in time. I'll start us off, and I'm going to say the first thing that came to my mind was we are from potlucks. And then I thought to myself, Talasha, this seems really unholy and unspiritual. And then, you can hear my self-talk, I suppose, I realized that actually, that came to mind because that is embodiment of our theology. A potluck is generosity. It's like a first fruits offering communal experience. A potluck is vulnerable. We bring things that we think are tasty, and we kind of put them out there, hoping that others might think they're tasty too. It's vulnerable also in that we try new things. It's intercultural sharing. Our potlucks help us taste lives from all over the globe, from different pockets of society, from different family traditions and cultures. A potluck is holy celebration, where we share with each other in whatever part of that cyclical story we find ourselves to be in. And potlucks feed people's bellies. That food is God's love made delicious. So, I'm going to start us off on our collective We Are From poem here with just adding potlucks. And I invite you to come on up and invite whatever this stirs in you. So now, offer your first fruits in our offering time, and come on up and add a word to our collective poem. If you see that someone else has already put your word on there, you can just put a check mark by it so we know it's really important. We will sing 420, God of the Bible, as we bring our offerings forward.